All right, you gonna join us? All right.
I learned sign language yesterday.
Did you?
Yes. You know what this is?
No.
Bullshit.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll have
The
to.
bull with the shit.
I'll have to remember that one. My aunt is a professor. She's a deaf. I got an aunt and uncle that have been deaf since they were kids. German chickenpox or German measles, one of the two. And she actually traveled the world. She's like if you're in the deaf community or you're in the deaf like world, you know my aunt Cheryl Shahan.
Oh, nice.
Like she is the Fabien Ziegler of the deaf community. I mean, she's just
very big, very, very big, infamous person.
Very big, infamous person. Yeah, I was talking with someone a couple of years ago now. And he's in the deaf community, and I'm like, and he's like, she goes, your name sounds familiar. I go, you wouldn't have known my aunt since you're deaf, Cheryl. She goes, oh my God, I talk to your aunt all the time. She's a legend. I went to Gallaudet. She's like the dean now or professor. So I'm like, oh, that's small world. So all right, look at you. She's over there with you.
You got
I know.
Guardian of the guardian of the lounge.
Yeah, the guardian of the lounge.
Yes.
Terrence, I'm stealing. Yeah, because I'm wearing the. Actually, that's a shirt I'm wearing. Serbia's the guardian.
There you go.
Of the farm. We got guardian of the lounge right here.
Skylar, the guardian of the lounge. Yeah.
So welcome everybody. This is our very first guest here in the cigar lounge, Fabien Ziegler, Aganorsa Cigars. Thank you for stopping.
Man, this is a real treat. First of all, this has been done. How long has this been done?
Less than 6 months. We've been completed.
Okay, now my question is you've smoked a few cigars here, maybe a few times. I don't know. Can we smoke in here in the smoking lounge? Can we smoke in here?
Yes, we can. And thousands of cigars we have smoked.
Because I had to ask because it doesn't smell like any smoke. So whatever you're doing is phenomenal because I'm sure we're going to be smoking some cigars, but I don't smell any smoke right now, and I don't see any candles or any of that stuff. So I'm sure you got a story about that later on.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on. I've done the whole build. We have our Rabbit Airs. We have our inline duck fans from Fantech. I'll be talking about that in another video. So thank you. Yeah, Fantech helped us design this system, and they have done a great job. I want to start off with a gift. You travel a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're always having snacks in your car.
Yes.
I have no idea what these are because I can't pronounce the names. You might be able to. You don't have to go through all of them, but I chose some snacks specifically for you. Can you read?
The Jungleveller Varela.
These are. They're all the whole bag. They're Swiss candies. I thought you were Swiss.
I am Swiss.
Oh, okay.
No, this has got to be a Swedish candy, Skalet.
Or Swedish.
Oh, okay, all right.
What's the difference?
Well, one's from Sweden and the other one's from Switzerland. Oh. I'm from Switzerland.
I thought it was the same place.
Man.
If you ever watch my weekly live cigar show, we get people from all around.
Yeah.
I don't know where things are at. I just found out 6 months ago that like Nicaragua's in the same time zone. I thought they were west of California. I didn't know.
Well, Nicaragua's actually one hour behind us.
Yeah, 1 hour behind us. Yes,
it's central.
But I thought they were. West, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've never seen any of this. I've only spent 4 days in Sweden in my travel, so I'm sure if I would have gone to a candy store in Sweden, I probably would have gone.
No.
Yes. But this one right here definitely looks like little Coke bottles.
Yeah.
So as a fellow, even though it's a German company, Haribo, I eat a lot of Haribo.
Oh, okay.
Please, Mr. Haribo, don't get mad when I start eating these Swedish competitors of yours. But yes, no, all right. So Sweden is known for fish, for blonde people.
Yeah.
Switzerland is known for chocolate and watches.
That's us. Now I have learned something new that Switzerland and Sweden are two different places. How are they close? Are they at least close to each other? That's like
delicious. Yes, I know. It's from Scandinavia. That's right. Okay, so there's the whole continent of Europe.
Yes.
And right in kind of in the middle is Switzerland, small little country. It's surrounded by France, by Italy, by Austria. Luxembourg is engulfed by Austria and Germany. And Germany, above Germany, is Scandinavia, that's where Finland, Sweden, Norway is. And actually, next to Germany is also Holland, and then above that is a little country called Denmark.
Okay.
So yeah, so same continent, but just way far north. And I will truly enjoy all these candies. And well, I'll come back next time and I'll review every single one of these, and I'll do my due diligence and bring you some Swiss chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it was. That's my. I will do my due diligence next time we have someone in to find out where exactly they're from and to make sure that they don't. I don't have a different country's delectable treats.
Hey, it's like running into someone from Florida, and you're like, oh yeah, you make great cheese. Those cheese curds. I love those cheese curds. Yeah, no, that's Wisconsin.
Same continent.
Same continent.
Same continent.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was my bad. So
oh no, your bad is gonna be my good for my next travels, man. I got plenty of sweets. Nice.
So you're in the beautiful lounge, and
it's amazing.
So you're the reason this lounge is here.
Uh-oh.
You personally are the lounge, and I think I've told the story maybe once or twice, years prior. We're going back many years now. 8 years, 9, whatever it was.
Yeah, long time.
Jessica and I were dating. I got her into cigars, and we went to a cigar event, a VIP $1 million facility. We were treated poorly. We were treated so badly. Jessica never wanted to do another event in her life. This is not for me. If this is what cigar smoking is about, I don't want to be a part of this. I already had tickets for my next event that we had to go to. And she's like, I'm only going to go for you. So we go, we pull up and we're to this event on a farm, hundreds and hundreds of people. She's kind of an introvert. So she was already getting real nervous about this event. She just had a bad time. We walked through the gate and there was a man in a set of overalls. And he didn't know. We weren't Kevin and Jessica from Cigar Prop. We were just two people, and you had this big smile, you open arms, and then, invited us to this amazing event. And that from there took off. And if you weren't there at that gate, this wouldn't be here. So,
man, I remember like it was yesterday, even though we can't remember what year it is. Yeah, I actually remember. I remember doing it. And that's the thing, right? I mean, people are spending their money. They're spending their Saturdays. I'm working, but they're spending their Saturdays, and they want to hear about cigars. This was in my prior life. Now I'm with Aganorsa, but before then, most of you guys know I was at Drew Estate for 19 years, and I was kind of like the unofficial face of Drew Estate, and the welcoming. And at the end of the day, whether they smoked Drew Estate or they didn't, walking into the barn smoker, I wanted to make sure that every single person, when they were walking out, had a good time. So yes, they had a bag full of cigars, but when they go back to their local store or whatever, they would remember the fun times that they had at the barn smoker, and they would purchase more Drew Estate. So yeah, I mean, plus I enjoyed it. I mean, I never wore overalls until I started doing barn smokers, and I'm like, damn, I look like a farmer. I'm like the jolly big green giant, I mean, but yeah, it was, I couldn't find a pitchfork or any of that stuff, but I was there with my overalls and my plaid, and it was a good time. It
was a great time, and that was really the start of everything and diving into this world. I remember Jessica saying, sometime during the event, we're smoking, and she's like, she said her exact words, "These are my people. These are my people."
There you go.
So so like I said, now we have a lounge. I mean, we just built this lounge. I mean, this house used to be small. We built this lounge. We have 4 people living in this house. We only have 1 bathroom. We have 1 bathroom.
Okay.
It was either build another bathroom or build a cigar lounge. Jessica chose cigar lounge. That's how much.
There you go.
So that's awesome. So
you were dating and now you're married?
No, well,
you're still dating.
I
common law.
I say we're common law.
Okay.
I say we're married. We're still engaged.
Okay.
You know, so one day we'll, you know, JC Newman actually at their factory, they say when you guys are ready, because they do all the events, they hold weddings there. They said you guys, we'd be honored if
Nice.
weddings.
Nice.
So you're definitely first on the invite.
Is the dress code overalls anything or
The
what?
dress code, it's a cigar factory. So the dress code is whatever you want. I would be honored if you wore overalls, you know, so that would be full circle.
Okay,
Full
perfect.
circle.
Mental note, and it will be done. It will be done.
So you left your former life. You retired. You're sitting. You just wanted to smoke hookah in your backyard. You did that for a while. You know, COVID. You had some great videos. We all followed Fabian on his daily antics, if you will.
Yeah. Yes.
But that all great things have to come to the end. You're with Aganorsa now. Who, what, how, where, when, and why? So how did they dry? Because I'm sure you got tons of offers. Fabian free.
So I got a couple phone calls here and there and whatnot. And the funny thing is when I left in October 2019. I pretty much told all my friends, okay, I'm done with the cigar industry. I'd been in the cigar industry for 19 years, 20 years. I started in 2000, and you know I helped grow Drew Estate to the pinnacle of the mountain, right? I mean, they're the number one manufacturer right now. They sell a whole bunch of cigars. And I was just tired. I mean, I was traveling 20, 25 days a month. I was going all over the country, and then also at the same time all over the world. Was in charge of growing their international business for 5 years. So I was racking up the air miles, and at the same time they wanted me in the office more. So it was tough. They wanted me on the road more, and they wanted me in the office more. And I gave them a plan where, okay, 15 days in the office, 15 days in the on the road, and in February it'd be 14 and 14. Okay, and that extra day every 4 years would be mine to relax. Okay, and they're like, no, we want you to be more on the road. Okay, but you also want me to be more in the office. So I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna go. I was tired. You know, I'd done it and whatnot. But the funny thing is there's one major step into a cigar smoker's journey, right? And the major step was, I'm going to start smoking cigars. Now, before 2000, let's say, when someone started smoking a cigar, they would start with a very mild cigar, probably the Romeo Julieta Reserva Real, the Macanudos, you know, the very mild stuff. And then in 2000, that's when acid came out. You have the Tatianas, the CAOs. So then that created, okay, so now someone who wants to start smoking a cigar would start smoking a sweet cigar, which then in a sense created a second major step, which is eventually people would grow out of their sweet aspect and go into traditional cigars. Some people it take a week, some people it takes a year, some people it takes, like me, it took me 15 years to grow out of that sweetness. But while I was smoking all the sweet cigars and whatnot, I at one time, we started selling shisha with Starbuzz, and we had the acid shishas. So then I started smoking the hookahs, and I'm like, wow, I get all these different flavors that I never get in the cigar, right? I mean, double apple and extra mint and citrus mint and this and that. So I started smoking hookah. So when I was in the office at Drew Estate, I would smoke a hookah after lunch every day. And then first couple months it was by myself, and then other people started showing up. And then that was kind of like our hour of like deep negotiations or talks, or that's when we came up with great ideas is during the hookah time. While everyone else is smoking cigars, we're just like power puffing on a hookah. So yeah, so my idea was to take a year off or whatever, and just relax at home, and smoke a hookah. I'd bought a house 3 years prior, and I never really enjoyed it because I was on the road a lot. So I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy this house. So I leave. Needless to say, COVID hits. And even though in Florida, COVID closed everything down for like a month, the rest of the world pretty much closed down for like a year and a half, right? So my year became 2-3 years, whatnot, and I'm still smoking hookah, and I'm smoking a cigar in my pool, watching the clouds go by, and, you know, looking for my new chapter in life. And one of my really good friends, Ryan Poehler, who is a rep in Texas, he actually has like 9 states. It's like Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Iowa. Kansas, and all the kind of like the Midwest, South Midwest, and I've known him since 2000 because he was one of the original Drew Estate reps. So we were independent reps, manufactured reps. So we became friends and whatnot. Then as I got hired on at Drew Estate fully, I was his boss, and I still worked together. We became really good friends. And during my time where my hiatus, ever so often I would call him or he would call me, and just to talk about life and things going and whatnot. I know his wife and his 3 kids, and he knows my wife and whatnot. So just chit-chatting, and I'm by my pool smoking a citrus mint hookah, enjoying it, and watching the clouds go by, and my phone rings, and it's Ryan Poehler. I'm like, oh shit! All right, Ryan. Okay, I pick up the phone. And I'm like, hey, what's going on, Ryan? What's up, man? And then he's like, oh, I'm in the car with Terrence Riley. And I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing, Terrence? I've known Terrence for quite a while, too, because everyone looks up to him in the cigar industry. Because, not because they kind of want to, but they have to, because the dude's 6'7", right? Yeah. So I'm 6'3". I'm still looking up, but Terrence was always the guy. First, he worked for Casada. And then 5 years ago, he got hired on at Aganorsa. But just like we all go to trade shows, we all see each other behind the booth selling cigars, multi-manufacturer. So Terrence was always very, very nice. Whatever, very khakis, polo shirt, this and that, whatever. And I'm always in my shorts and t-shirt and whatever. Hey, we wave. So I'm like, hey, what's going on, Terrence? And then Ryan goes, okay, so Aganorsa wants to hire you. And I'm like, oh. Okay, all right. Yeah, you could. When can you start? And then after Ryan said that, he's like, "Whoa, Terrence!" You hear Terrence going, "Whoa. I'm going to be in Miami next week. Would you mind sitting down and having a cigar, and we'll see if something can work out? Because I'm pretty much running the show, and I need help. And Eduardo Fernandez, the owner, wants to hire someone to bring Aganorsa to the next level, and I can't do it by myself, and I've heard nothing but great things. Ryan's been talking to me about you for the years. Ryan's been talking to you about you to Paul Palmer. So you're really well known here. We just kind of want to see. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So we just set up a time, and then the next week shows up, and worst case scenario, I'm gonna have a Aganorsa cigar, and we're gonna meet up at a cigar lounge. We're gonna have a drink. The best sparkling water ever, whatnot, because it was around 2, I try not to start drinking until after 5, even though it's 5 somewhere everywhere,
that's it.
Whatever, but sparkling water we're smoking, and at first, if Terrence was here, you would hear a completely different part of the story, right? You would be like, so I'm sitting sitting across from Fabian, and I'm interviewing Fabian, and I'm asking questions, and he only seems to give me yes or no answers and follows it up with other questions then I have to answer. All right. Which is what happened. But he thinks he's interviewing me, but in effect, I'm interviewing him, because I walked into the meeting. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to go back into the cigar industry, which I have made many, many friends, including you and Jessica, and many friends all over the world. And I've kind of missed some of the people, the interactions. That's one of the best things about cigars. It's dried up leaves, yeah. But we're all sitting there, and we're all in a sense equal, and we all have a common. We all try to solve problems or tell jokes or whatever. But yeah, it's the equalness of the. So everyone. I miss that. The camaraderie. Yes, I did my funny little shows on Facebook and interacted with people and whatnot, and it was fun, but there's so many people that not necessarily are on Facebook or whatever, and so I kind of miss them. So if I'm going to go back in the cigar industry, it's going to be with the right people and a right company. So I'm interviewing him more than he's interviewing me. And then Terrence would go, and it's kind of weird because 15, 20 minutes into the conversation, then Fabian started answering questions long-winded, and I didn't have any time to talk, and he seemed to talk for the next 45 minutes, and we finished a cigar, and then we got another cigar, and then we each finished the liter bottles of St. Pellegrino. We got more bottles of St. Pellegrino. But what happened was 15 minutes into the conversation with Terrence, I realized that I was in a sense, talking to a pseudo mirror of myself. And what do I mean by that is someone who's not shy from rolling up his sleeves and getting stuff done. Someone who is creative in his own way, and someone who's not looking for the props of coming oh, I created that. Oh, this was my idea. The idea is Aganorsa idea, and it's the idea is to grow up Aganorsa and to grow the company and sell more cigars. And as I'm understanding, and of course I had done a little research about Aganorsa because I was gone for like 4 years, and Aganorsa had just become Aganorsa right before I left, because before it was Casa Fernandez.
Yeah.
And I'd heard about Casa Fernandez when I traveled with Ryan. He would sell Casa Fernandez. And then before then, I'd heard about Tropical Tobacco because it whole started as Tropical Tobacco, right? So it's in this full circle, or this half circle. It starts at Tropical Tobacco, then Casa Fernandez, which was probably one of the worst names, because Fernandez is like Smith in the in the English, or Patel in the Indian, right? Everyone's Fernandez in the tobacco industry, and everyone's got Casa this, Casa that. So people would come in and they're like, oh, Casa Fernandez. Oh yeah, oh, AJ makes your product. No, it's the other Fernandez. So oh, Casa, Casa so and so does it. No. So then one of the major things that Terrace did was to change the name to Aganorsa. So we have this beautiful sign here, a very first sign given. We just got these into the warehouse on Wednesday, so I got it. So this is actually to show you Aganorsa leaf, and Aganorsa leaf is actually somewhat of a shorter version of the name of the farms. So Aganorsa is Agricola Granadera Norca S.A., which is the whole name of the farm.
I have never heard that before. Like,
I
didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So some people ask us, oh, how do you spell it? How do you say it? Aganorsa, Aganorsa. There's many different ways, but it's Aganorsa is a lot easier than Agricola Granadera Norca S.A., right? So that's how Aganorsa and then leaf is, because Aganorsa is the largest producer of tobacco in Nicaragua. In the industry, we're number 2. I mean, Plasencia is bigger, but Plasencia has Nicaraguan fields and Honduran fields. But if you only compare Plasencia's Nicaraguan fields to Aganorsa, we are bigger than they are. So in the industry, we're number 2. In Nicaragua, we're number 1. So that's where the leaf is. So that's the whole thing. I spoke to Terrence. It was like a 2.5 hour meeting. And then as we're leaving, he's like, all right, so I have a good feeling. If I had a good feeling, Eduardo Fernandez, the owner, wants to set up the next step and to have a Zoom meeting, because he's in Nicaragua. I'm like, okay, good, because if you're looking for someone to go down to Nicaragua all the time, I'm not your man. I enjoy it when I'm down there, but it's like the most stressful trip, whether it's 2 days or a week, because the water always messes up with my stomach and this and that, whatever. So
it's getting there, and then
getting there is a long day. I mean, it just takes a lot out of me. I could fly to Europe and back, and I'm good. I go down to Nicaragua. It's an hour and 45 minutes from Miami, but it's a 3-hour drive on the Pan American Highway to Esteli. It's just exhausting. I can't brush my teeth with water. I gotta find bottled water. I can't wash my face or my head. I gotta pour water. The water's cold or room temperature. I like warm water on my face. So yeah, I mean, it's painstakingly. So he's like, yeah, Zoom meeting. All right. But Mr. Fernandez is a very busy person. He's got many different jobs, which I can elaborate on that a little bit later on, but he's very busy. He can only speak with you for about 30 minutes. I'm like, no sweat, man. I'll 30 minutes. You tell me when and what time. I'll be there, this and that, whatever. So he sets it up for a couple days later, and the Zoom call comes, and it's Terrence, myself, Max, which is Eduardo's son, and Eduardo. And we're talking, and Eduardo starts asking me a couple questions, this and that, whatever. He's like, so, have you done this? Have you done that? And I'm like, Eduardo, I know I only have 30 minutes, but the answer, or to simplify things, let me tell you what I haven't done in my years at Drew Estate, right? Because that's a short answer. The answer is I've done everything at Drew Estate, right? I was in sales and marketing. I did logistics. I set up trade booths. I pretty much did everything within the 19 years, so I kind of know a little bit of everything. I'm not an expert in everything, but I know enough to get the ball rolling, and I'm sure, you know, we can figure it out. He's like, all right, good. So tell me a story, you know, this and that, whatever. So I'm telling stories, blah, blah, blah. 4.5 hours later, Eduardo's like, you know, man, you have so much energy. Like, I just want to keep listening to you. I want you to start working yesterday for me because there's so much potential. You make it sound like there's so much potential, which there is. There is so much potential at Aganorsa. I mean, it's so exciting. He's like, I have a couple other things I needed to do. I'm like, no sweat, Eduardo. I thought we were only going to be on there for 30 minutes. And, you know, I actually need to go to the bathroom. So I'm glad that this is done. So he leaves the conversation. He goes, Terrence, hire this guy, talk to Fabian, whatever he wants, I okay it, this and that, whatever. So then I go back and I talk to Terrence, do the whole contract, this and that, whatever. And here, boom, I'm back into the cigar industry. And that's the who, what, when, where, and...
Did you tell him the Star Wars story? Was that one of the stories?
So I have not told him the Star Wars story.
So we've heard that story. So yeah.
Yes, I haven't told him the Star Wars story, but there's many other stories and whatnot, and there will come a time in a galaxy far, far away when he will hear the Star Wars story. Yes, but as you know, that story takes a lot out of me. It's a 37-minute story.
Yeah,
so,
yes.
Yeah.
So another time, I'll maybe in whatever you want, I'll link to the story down below.
There you go.
So what did they bring you in? What was your title, your role? They brought you into the company.
So the cool thing is just like Terrence doesn't really care about titles. I don't really care about titles, but we need to put something on our business cards and whatnot. So my business card states business development. So, you know, what is business development? Who knows? But it's business development. So, hey, if I go out there across the street and I sell 2 more cigars, I just created business development. If I create a new blend, this and that, whatever, that's business development. So, you know, if I save the company a little bit money on paper towels by going to Costco and buying them, that's business development, you know. So I pretty much do everything except for sales prevention. I stay away from the sales prevention department. We have a few people in there, but stay away from the sales prevention department.
But you're right about Terrence. I mean, when the first time I was down at the warehouse down there in Miami, I was passing through and figured I'd stop and see him for a little bit. And then I figured he'd have this big office. You know, he's Terrence Riley, this beautiful, we'd sit down. But he was like in the shipping department. They were getting boxes ready. There was an issue with a shipment that he was having to deal with. And I'm like, you know, oh my God, that's awesome. You know, I mean, you put people on a pedestal, and he was down in the nit and gritty and just doing some shipping and getting some things going.
That's one of the best things is I learned I actually paid attention to what my dad was telling me when I was growing up, even though it didn't seem like I was. And if you were to ask him, was he paying attention? No, he wasn't. He was a big pain in the butt and whatever. But I actually listened. And one of the things, my dad started as a sales rep, and in the same company, bought, got sold, this and that, and became the president of the company, right? And one of his key takes, and one of the things I still remember is never ask someone to do something that you wouldn't necessarily do yourself. Maybe there's reasons why you ask someone to do something because you have more pressing issues or this and that, whatever. But never ask someone to do something you wouldn't do. And that's something that I held like very tight. In all my years at Drew Estate, you can talk to anyone who worked under me and worked with me. And I don't even like to say work under me. It's work more with me because it's more of a team aspect of it. Yes, someone has to lead the team in a sense, but the leader or the leader of the team is only as good as the team, right? I mean, you could have the best leader, but if you have crap followers, then the team's not going to be good. So you can ask anyone that worked with me, and that's the one thing that they will always tell you is they saw me sweeping the floors, they saw me vacuuming the booth at the RTDA shows, they saw me building the booth, and they saw me selling. They saw me marketing. So that's one of the key takeaways. And within the first 15 minutes, I realized that Terrence is the same way. The cool thing is so now we had Terrence doing everything. So now it's Terrence and I doing everything. And people always want to know, like, oh, well, is Terrence your boss or are you Terrence's boss? And I'm like, the only boss we have is Eduardo. I mean, that's the only title that really matters, right? Owner. Everyone else is just looking up to the owner, and we're all doing everything we can. And Terrence and I both understand that. And when the situation comes up, we talk. Sometimes his set of skills will be better for that situation, then he'll take it. And then the next situation comes, and maybe I could do it better and whatever. So anytime we do it, we it's never, oh, well, you did the last one, you should do this one. We talk about it, and sometimes there could be 3 or 4 issues that show up that one of us will take, because there will come a time where there's an issue that comes and you have a little more knowledge than Terrence or Terrence, so it's a great partnership, and I can't stress this enough. I mean, working with Terrence is phenomenal. Working with Paul Palmer, who I would put his palate as one of the best palates that I've ever been around.
Some people don't think he's real. I've never met him. I don't know what he looks like.
He was at the show. He was at the Great Smoke.
Paul Palmer was?
Yes.
I've always wanted to meet him. I didn't think he was a real person. I thought, because like I said, nobody knows who he is. Oh my God, I can't believe I blew a chance to finally meet him and shake his hand.
Paul Palmer's palate, like you give him a cigar, unbanded, whatever, and he could tell you the country. He could, in a sense, and sometimes tell you the farm and the aspects of it. I mean, he is a walking encyclopedia. And the coolest thing is when I'm in the office and I'm plugging away on emails or making phone calls and this whatever. Always in the afternoon, or between 2 and 3, he comes and gets me, and he's like, "All right, it's time to smoke a cigar." Okay, all right. So he gives me an unbanded cigar, and he smokes the same cigar, and he's like, "Okay, so what do you taste? What do you taste?" And I'm like, that's kind of hard for me because I'm still new to this tobacco tasting aspect, because I'm still, I just left all the sweet stuff, so I could tell you the difference between sweet, honey, vanilla, all that, the espresso, the Java, all I could tell you all that stuff, but understanding and telling you what true tobacco tastes like is still new. So what I've realized is I describe a cigar as a newbie, whereas, Paul describes a cigar as someone who's been smoking cigars. He's been smoking cigars for 30 years, whatever, and he's tried everything and whatnot. He describes it more like he describes it like old English, and I describe it like new, like a gangster style from East LA. Okay, so we finally get to the same thing. But what I'm realizing is what I'm actually tasting is actually what's in the tobacco. I just say it differently, right? So the cool interaction, talking with him and understanding, so that's what someone tells you, that this cigar has a leathery tone. It's like, I never tasted leather. I've never eaten leather. Like, what does a leathery tone taste like? Yeah. Right. But now I understand the aspects of it. Kind of like you open up the Cigar Aficionados and you see all these descriptions. Whatever. The plum, the metallic aftertaste, which, by the way, if it has metallic aftertaste, why would you try that cigar? Some people like smoke rusty nails or whatever. That's not really, So I truly enjoy all the knowledge that Paul gives me, and at the same time working with Terrence, we have great reps all over the U.S. And then I'm working with some of the guys down in the factory, getting things squared away at the factory. Starting to open up some international business, selling. So now, before I got there, they were selling to three countries, and now we're up to 11 countries. We could sell a lot more internationally, but I realized that selling a box internationally is taking away a box from the U.S. market. There isn't necessarily a surplus of international product down there, and the last thing you want is to create a big back order issue in the U.S. So it's a programmed growth, a structured growth for internationally, but if you're watching this internationally, Aganorsa cigars will be there soon. Just bear with us, a little patience, but they are worth the wait.
Yes, Paul. He blended my number one cigar last year, the Army of Angels.
Okay,
have you had that yet?
Yes,
Corona cigar. Oh my God, fantastic cigar.
Paul has blended. They've made a lot of private lines for Corona cigars.
Yeah, some great cigars. So what's the secret about Terrence Riley that he doesn't want us to know?
He's got pajamas and they're khaki.
Are they? That sounds right.
So here's the thing, right? I think he's stressing out about this PCA show, okay? Because when I first got hired on, Terrence is like, this is a traditional cigar company. You are gonna, I'm not telling you what you have to wear, but it would be gladly enjoyable if you wear khakis and shirts with a collar, because all you guys know, in 19 years, I wore cargo shorts and t-shirts, right?
Yes.
And now all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, I graduated from the children's table and went to the adult table, and I have to dress up like I'm at the adult table. So I had to go buy a pair of khakis, and I'm wearing polo shirts and collared shirts. So the very first day last year at the PCA I had to wear my khakis and a polo shirt, and I it's in the contract that the very first day of every trade show, it's khakis and this. Now there's a little caveat was, Terrence, I agree to this, but next year, one day, you're gonna have to wear what Fabian wears. So he still doesn't know what we're gonna wear. It might be matching togas or something, but one day at the PCA, most likely we are gonna wear some Fabian stuff.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
I know. I tried to get one of your old jumpsuits, but they are in a closet somewhere, and nobody knows where they're at.
Joe Grow has them.
Joe Grow has them?
Joe, I gave my sweatsuit, all my jumpsuit, my Adidas sweatsuits to Joe Grow. All but
he
one.
can't wear them.
Well, all but one. The other one was to Chris Stone.
Okay.
So Chris Stone has one, and then the other one's Joe Grow.
Okay. Well,
So you got Joe Grow's phone number.
I got Joe
Grow.
number.
This guy right here wants one of that.
I'm about the same size. Joe can't fit in them. Joe. It's he's a little more robust.
Too many cheesesteaks.
Yeah, too many cheesesteaks.
Yes. Yeah.
So what do we have here? So
Okay.
So we got the Fumas.
All right. So this is one of the cool things that we do at an Aganorsa event. All right. So you go to events. Every manufacturer does events, but we do it as slightly different because we are the largest grower of tobacco. We grow on average 130,000, 150,000 pounds of tobacco every year. We actually bring individual leaves and we call them Fumas. And so what we're about to do is a Fuma tasting. So a tobacco leaf. Tobacco leaf gets deveined by taking the main vein, so you have a right side and a left side. One side becomes the filler, the other side becomes the binder wrapper. So that's why they look very rustic, okay? And this is the true way of understanding the philosophy of, and again, all you guys have been cigar smokers for a long time. You smoked many cigars. You've always heard about, try this cigar. It's a well-balanced cigar. But what does that mean? It sounds good.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
After this, and when you guys go to the Aganorsa event, after you do the Fuma tasting, you will understand what a well-balanced cigar is. Because leaves, and again, Terrence has his way of doing Fuma tastings, and you're going to hear my way of doing Fuma tastings. Terrence is like the old English style, like the very sophisticated, this and that, whatever, and I'm more like the street style, the guerrilla warfare. So again, we're both coming at it from different aspects, but we get to the final point, right? So this is our creme de la creme, and we're the only manufacturer to actually grow Corojo 99, okay? Every manufacturer could grow Corojo 99. It's a seed. 99 means it's the very first inception of the year. Oh, okay. So this tobacco has been grown since 99, Corojo. Why are we the only manufacturer or the only farmer to grow Corojo 99? Because it's a very low yield tobacco plant. The average tobacco plant gives you 24 leaves. The Corojo 99 gives you about 16. And anytime you're in agriculture and you're growing stuff, it's all about yield, right? Yeah, so why are you guys growing something that gives you low yield? Well, we grow it because we love the flavor and what it does. So first you take a whiff of it.
Well, first, is this the left or the right?
This is the right and the left. It's one whole leaf.
One whole. Oh, I think you split it in half.
Well,
okay.
You split it in half, and then one becomes the filler, and then
and
then one
becomes like the Twix thing. You left, right. Which one do you prefer?
Hey, we never talk about politics in cigar stores. No left or right, right? Yeah. It's all centrist.
Okay, so one becomes the wrapper, and then the other becomes the
So in a sense, one Fuma is equal to one tobacco leaf.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So as you take a whiff of it, and then you're gonna take a pre-light draw, now you're gonna light it up, and you're gonna start your mouth is gonna speak to you, right? And what's going to happen is, let me paint a picture of where this leaf is grown. So first, you guys all know tobacco plant is anywhere for 4.5 feet to 6 feet, 6.5 feet, right? And then there's three main areas in a plant. You have the seco, which is the bottom leaves. Then you have the viso, which is the middle leaves. And then you have the ligero, which is the top leaves, right? So seco usually don't really have too much flavor, but it's very important to cigars because it has the highest heat index. So it keeps the cigar combustible.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you've smoked cigars where you feel like you're lighting the cigar all the time. And it has nothing to do with you smoking, you're talking too much.
Yeah.
The cigar always seems to go out. That means that blend doesn't necessarily have any secos. It's got more visos and ligeros. So all the cigars that burn very, very well, there's always at least half a leaf or one leaf of seco. Then you have the viso, which is in the middle, and the viso is where you get all the flavors. So all those leaves in the middle, that's where you get all the flavors. They're very oily, thick leaves, and that's where you get the flavors of the different tobaccos. And then the ligeros are the smallest leaves on top, and that's the strength. And then the master blender will mix and match, do whatever he wants to do, some leaves here and there, but that's that. So both of the leaves that we're trying are visos, because I want you to try and get the flavor aspect. I don't want you to light something and then like a flare just go off. That would be a cool trick if I give you a seco leaf. Then by the time you're done, your beard is already on fire because the thing just burnt like crazy, right? So this leaf, the Corojo 99, is grown in Jalapa. So you light it.
I'm getting a minty menthol on the cold draw. I'm digging that.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay. So here comes the streetwise way of describing this plant, right? Jalapa. Jalapa is the northernmost part of Nicaragua. It's right next to Honduras. Latitude-wise, it's the exact same latitude as Pinar del Rio, which Pinar del Rio is the beautiful valley where they grow all the Cuban tobaccos. Okay, so exact same climate. It's also same elevation. It's about 150 meters above sea level. Okay, plenty of sun, plenty of water. The soil is very loose, very sandy. So the second the plant is put in the soil and it starts growing, the roots are just spreading out. It's kind of like a leaf on vacation, getting the sun, getting the water, just stress-free, just relaxing. Okay, so let me use my Jedi mind tricks for you guys who know the Star Wars story. What do you taste? Or what should you taste? Okay, so you could say however you want to say what you're tasting, but this is how a non-traditional guy going into the traditional aspect of it is describing it. So this leaf hits you horizontally, right? And you're like, horizontal, like what this isn't a geometry like talking, right? We're talking about tobacco. Why horizontally? All right. So as you take a puff, you keep taking more puffs. Instantly, you should get more saliva in your cheeks on both sides of the mouth.
I've been swallowing several times. It is a moist, like it is activating those saliva glands.
If we're doing this in Nicaragua by our guy telling this, he would call this, in Nicaragua, we call this leaf the gusher. As I'm taking a puff and he's telling me this is a gusher, I'm like, please do not ever say that again, because where I come from in America, the gusher means something completely different, and that's for a topic for another show and another channel. Okay?
Yes.
All right. But there's extreme moistness. Now, I don't know if you retrohale. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But if you retrohale, then you're going to start getting almost a little bit of sweetness. And just slightly over your tongue as you're smoking, you might get a little bit of earthy tones, not too much, but the majority of the aspect is in your cheeks is the saliva. So horizontally, okay. All right, you take as many puffs as you want. The object of this is to understand what this specific leaf by itself does. Okay, so then I'm going to ask you to put it down, because then I'm going to go and we're going to smoke a Criollo 98. So again, this seed started 98, but a Criollo 98, and you're going to do the same thing.
I do like a little bit of a chocolatey finish on there. It's very fleeting. I mean, I know it's tough to get a lot of smoke out of that type of cigar, but it did have a nice little chocolate finish on it. A little bit of spice, like a little bit of peppery spice. Not a lot though.
Not too much, and that's what a plant on vacation pretty much gives you. Now we're going to this Criollo 98 that is grown in Esteli.
I smell cherries on the body.
Okay, well, that's probably because I touched all your Swedish candy before I went. But that's what this leaf is. Esteli. So Esteli, 3,000 meters above sea level. So you're higher elevation, so closer to the sun. Still plenty of sun, plenty of water, but the soil is completely different. It's very clayish. It's very hard. So from the beginning, that plant is planted in the ground, and as the plant is trying to grow and the roots are trying to go deep and try to get the nutrients from the soil, it's struggling. It's like stressing itself out because it has to break through the soil. So the plants in Esteli don't necessarily grow as tall as the plants in Jalapa, but in a sense, you're going to get what, in my mind, a stressed out tobacco plant tastes like. Okay.
Are they still growing, or like the other one, the fewer leaves, or is this more leaves?
So this is more like an average. So there's around 24 leaves on the Criollo 98. Yeah, Criollo 98, and predominantly the Criollo 98 or the Criollo 98 Ligero aspect is, if you like a full body cigar, most full body cigars that have Nicaraguan Ligero is that Criollo 98 leaf. It's the strongest tobaccos in the whole industry. Okay. Now, this leaf hits you vertically. You're like, well, vertically? I was like, what the hell? But if you really, as you take puffs, again, you just left a leaf that you got extra moisture. And now, as you take more puffs, your mouth is completely dried out. Your mouth is like a Sahara desert. It's just like you're looking for something to drink.
And it's hitting me on the tip of my tongue. There is some body in this like the tip of my tongue. It's just like, hey, like you're smoking something a little bolder, a little spicier.
You get more strength. You get a little spicier, but it's instant. Like the more you take out of it, the drier your mouth gets, and in a sense, it activates other areas of your mouth.
And a little stronger on that retro.
Yes.
Man, that was
Yep.
That was a little bold. I was not expecting on the retro on the other one. It was a lot smoother, creamy. This one.
Okay.
This one lights you up a little bit.
Now here's the aha moment. The aha moment is now you go back to your first one. Make sure your first one is still lit, because sometimes they go out. So relight your first one. And you remember what the first one tastes like, and you're going to go, this is the big finale. This is the Cheech and Chong moment. You're going to smoke both of them together.
I want to do one.
Okay. And now as you're smoking both of them, in a sense, it is the basis.
That's freaky.
The basis
freaky how they blend like that.
The basis of Aganorsa cigars.
Yeah.
The blending. So the extreme moisture of the first one with the extreme dryness of the second one, now you have a very pleasant feel. Not that either the other two weren't necessarily unpleasant, but you have more of a regulated mouth. All four quadrants of your mouth gets hit and stimulated, and then that's that.
And then the retro is it's heavier than the first one, lighter than the second one. Not a lot of, you get some tingling there, but it's not that burning, but you can actually sense it versus that is so weird.
Yeah. So what we actually did is actually what every manufacturer, whatever your favorite manufacturer is, they have a master blender. The master blender goes through this exercise, if not every day, at least every week, because every time they get new tobaccos in, they have to understand how that tobacco reacts and what it does. I'm sure, raise your hand if you've ever smoked a cigar and you felt like that cigar was flat or it never really went anywhere. Yeah, it could have been flavorful or whatever, but it never really went anywhere. That just means that that blend was either all vertical or all horizontal. We like to excite the whole mouth. So that's why the 98 and the 99 is the common blend of all Aganorsa blends. Now, the sales pitch is you go to a cigar event and then you're doing this and you see this wonderful table of all our product, and we have the validations, the JFRs, the anniversarial signatures, whatever. And it may be a new brand to you, or it may not necessarily be a new brand. But if if it's a new brand, you're a cigar purchaser. You like your store. You want, you're a loyal consumer of that store. You want to promote the store. You want to buy cigars, but you want to buy cigars that hopefully you like, not necessarily buy cigars just to buy cigars. So the question, every sales rep would go, well, what did you like better? You like the first one, or you like the second one, or you like both? Whatever you tell me, I have a specific line, a specific cigar.
I'm going to ask you if you like this one. I can guide you over here if you like this one, or if you like the. Yeah, man, that is super cool.
So in a way, if you truly like the first one, then any of our Maduros is going to be in your wheelhouse, whether it's validation, JFR, or anniversario, or whatever, any Maduros, because you like that smoothness, that little bit of natural sweetness, which the Maduro emphasizes. If you like the second one, which is, and again, harsh has a very negative connotation, but harsh just mean, like more blunt, I guess, in a sense, right? You like the second one better, then you're most likely going to enjoy our Corojos better, because the Corojos emphasizes a little more of the spice.
Yeah, I don't say harsh on the Corojo. I use the term gritty.
Gritty.
It's more of a gritty cigar, versus because you tell people that it's different connotation. Like you said, when you say harsh, people are like, oh, I don't want a harsh cigar. I'm like, well, it's not harsh, So I usually use the word gritty for me comes to light.
Yeah. And then ultimately, if you like both of them together, most likely you're going to really like our Connecticut's or our Habanos, because that wrapper will just add more flavor to the 50-50 of the 99 and 98.
I love it. What do you guys, I know we're coming on an hour here. What do you guys debuting at PCA this year? Anything you can let us in on?
So we're coming out with one line, 3 sizes. It's the Arsenio blend. And Arsenio is a very, very well-known Cuban tobacco person. He worked for the Cuban government, Cuban factories in Cuba for a long time. And then the weird thing is in Cuba is when you turn 60, you have to retire.
Do you?
You're forced to retire. And Eduardo, being Cuban, calls him up and goes, hey, are you ready to retire? He's like, no. He's like, well, why don't you come and work with us and start looking at the tobacco and showing the Nicaraguans here how to deal with the tobacco, ferment the tobacco plant and all that stuff. So after his many years, like 30 some years in the Cuban tobacco industry, he came to Nicaragua and he worked with us for about 20 years. Unfortunately, he died a couple years ago. But he always had a cigar in his mouth. He's not a master blender, but he knew everything before blending the cigars, okay? But he always had a cigar, and he rolled a blend that he actually liked himself, and he smoked it. And it's kind of like an homage to him. So we're going to have a Toro, a Robusto, and his favorite size was a Lonsdale, so that's going to be the 3rd size. And that's going to come. We're still in heavy negotiations, whether it's going to be a one-time release or it's going to be a ongoing line. That we're not sure at. We'll probably know like 2 minutes before the PCA starts, but that's where we're launching. And then the other one, which is actually a little thing, a little pet project of mine, is JFR Connecticut. Is actually the cigar that if you follow me on Instagram, Smoke What Fabian Smokes, you'll probably see a lot of pictures of me smoking the JFR Connecticut's, but JFRs tend to be more on the larger ring gauges, and I like more of the smaller ring gauges. Yeah. So we do have a JFR Junior and a Maduro and a Corojo. They never made it in the Connecticut. So I asked the factory, hey, can you just make some Connecticut juniors for me? And that could be my cigar. I'm passing out at events, this and that, whatever, when I'm in stores. And they made a few, and then I started passing them out, and they're like, oh man, I'd buy this. So we have, in a sense, a line extension for JFR Connecticut would be the JFR juniors.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yep.
Can't wait to try it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Fabian, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll make sure I put all the social media links for Fabien and Aganorsa in the video description. So make sure you're following them and keeping up to date on everything Aganorsa, and make sure you're continuously validating.
What we're validating, we're smoking, and I can't smell any tobacco. It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. Whatever you've done is really, really good. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys on the road. If you want to take part of the Fuma, go check out your local stores, brick and mortar stores. We do events all over the U.S. Our reps do these Fuma tastings all over the place. And who knows? Maybe I'll work something with Kevin, and you'll do a Fuma tasting with some of your followers. One of these days. So
that would be great.
So yeah,
Can't wait. So.
Thank you very much for your hospitality, my friend.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.